Alright. Welcome back to Nicholas Comic Corner, Classic Last Known Classics. This is episode number 1778 and Doubleshot number 78, excuse me. Now, for this one, I'm not going to go straight to Grounded Book 2. Not yet, anyways. I'm going to save that for a later episode. Right now, I wanted to work on basically the stuff from Action Comics came out at the same time as that. But first, before that, we have Legends of the Dark Knight by Matt Wagner. Yep. This book just collects all the books he did for Batman, which honestly is not very much. Basically, you just have 3 issues of Legends of the Dark Knight, issues 28 to 30, along with his 2 miniseries did, Batman the Monster Man and Batman the Mad Monk. This book also collected his covers he did for Batman 627 to 641. And this also covers for the Detective Comics picture in here, which, gotta say, that was a pretty smart one on their part. Those know who Matt Wagner is. He basically is also known for the creator of the character Grendel, a character who's basically interacted Batman a couple times over the years. Also had crossovers with the Shadow. Yeah, Grendel was more, let's just say, more violent version of Batman. That's what I would describe him. He's also known for doing a really good series from Vertigo known as the Sandman Mystery Theater, a book that lasted for 75 issues. It had one in. I read it. It's really good. Yes, the thing with that series was every story arc, which is 4 issues apiece, the only time the whole series where the story arc was not 4 issues was the final one, which I think was like 3 issues. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was like 3 issues now. 2 or 3 issues, and that was it. Now, as for the stories one, basically the first one here is basically about Two-Face, obviously. Yep, Two-Face. Now, of course, Matt Wagner does the writing and artwork in here. There's some co-art already here, some stuff by Tom King, because the book also includes 1 issue of Batman. I think it was Batman 54, which was the most recent Batman comic he did. Yep. Dave Taylor, some artwork too. Now, in the case of the Legends of the Dark Knight issues, these came out in from March to May of. Oh, by the way, this also collects a Batman Black and White story and Batman Riddler, Riddle Factory. Now, this 3-parter is about Two-Face. It's only kind of a Two-Face. It's mostly not. It's a very loose, basically loose reinterpretation of Two-Face's debut. That's the best way to describe it. Batman Riddler, just a story focused on Riddler, with Brian Feliz doing the cover artwork. Now, Batman Black and White, I kind of talked about this one already. Thanks to talk about Batman Black and White trades. Now, the Monster Men. This simply put basically had this miniseries, from what I can tell, I think this one was the first. Yes, I think with either this one. I'm trying to think. I think it may have been this very miniseries was the first post-crisis appearance of Hugo Strange and Julie Madison. Now, Hugo Strange is a well-known Batman character thanks to his appearance in Batman Arkham City. He was also noteworthy for being the second ever recurring villain for Batman, which I think he was the second ever bald villain ever fought, because first of all was Dr. Death, who in modern times became a villain for Batgirl. Now, this story has also been basically remade into a crossover that came out in 2016 known as The Monster Men. It's basically Hugo Strange basically experimenting with people, turning them monsters. It's a really cool miniseries. And as for Julia Madison, you're probably thinking, who the heck is Julia Madison? Julia Madison, according to Pre-Crisis, was Bruce Wayne's first girlfriend. As a matter of fact, in the original Golden Age stuff, she was actually engaged to be married to Bruce Wayne, but then she called it off because she continued with Playboy lifestyle. Here it's a bit more serious, and his lifestyle is very much toned down. It's not due to his lifestyle, it's due to secrecy involving Batman. And here's the strange thing. This miniseries will lead into Batman and Mad Monk. I have heard chronologically this book takes place just after the events of Year 1. Well, that story anyways. Excuse me. Yeah. Oops. Now here's some sample of Matt Wagner's amazing artwork. Look at Thomas Two Face. It is so good. It is something though. He didn't do that much Batman. Here he is drawing Batman, which I gotta admit is actually pretty good looking Batman. Plus cool Bat Cycle. This may have been the first chronological appearance of the Bat Cycle. I think it was Shriek was probably the first time because that was like early 2000s, and of course his miniseries came out in 2006. It was roughly about 3 years prior to that. That was his first post-credit appearance, but this was his first chronological one. Yep. Trying to get this off the monster man. Let's see here. Oh, Dave Taylor does the Riddler one. Yeah, Bat Black was what's called Heist. Yeah, Bat Black was, in my opinion, really good. This cover here, for the issue 1, that was also the cover for the trade paperback to collect this miniseries. Yep. They also referencing here to the Joker Red Hood. Yeah, believe it or not, according to some sources, this was the Joker. Yep. By the way, here's Hugo Strange in possibly his first chronological appearance post-crisis. He's really short, not as muscular as he is. Usually he's very muscular. Yeah, I even loved how basically they introduce each other. And at several points, basically, throughout this miniseries and the following one, Bruce Wayne and Julia have sex. No joke, they seriously do. But this miniseries is so good. And keep believe this only came out 16 years ago, and it's still a really good story. Of course, the end of the story involves basically Hugo Strange getting arrested for what he did. Not killed, just arrested. Now, as for the replacement villain in Batman the Mad Monk, let me show up. Apparently, Julia's father basically is very distraught, basically in debt. So looking up basically Bruce Wayne takes care of it. Oh yeah, we also had the first appearance of this miniseries, not only Julian Madison, Hugo Strange, but also the Batmobile. Yes, this was the very first Batmobile according to this book. Alright, here you go. This is the Mad Monk. Which, if you watch Kamen Rider, like, wait, is this guy Leah's Shocker based his appearance? Yeah. And the way he makes his debut is, by the way, they also have Catwoman appearing here. Yes, Catwoman. And they reference Year One. Yep. Okay, so the way he makes his debut is that there's a ritual going on, and he had the Mad Monk basically walk up to a woman, lifting up his mask, and then biting her. Yes, the Mad Monk is a vampire. It's very much confirmed this miniseries. He's a vampire. And here he is without his mask on. But yeah, that's the Mad Monk for you. Why is it called the Mad Monk? Because he's kind of insane. We also have Dula, who I believe was assistant in the Golden Age too. Yeah. But just these two make the first appearance in this miniseries. But aside from these two, I don't think anybody else makes the first chronological first appearance post-crisis aside from these two. Yeah, throughout this miniseries, Batman is injured severely by Mad Monk's devices. Yep. But yeah, love the Mad Monk miniseries. Just really good here. In the case of, oh, by the way, it ends quite interestingly with Batman flying up, and there's an advertisement for the Haley Circus. Which says it'll be 2 weeks. Yeah, that leads into basically, possibly, I think it leads into Robin Year 1, which happens next. I think so, yes. Yeah, then we have Batman 54, and then we have various covers he did. Like Robin 2, number 1. Robin 3, number 5. We have issues from Detective Comics here. Great stuff here. It's known as the Dark Moon Trilogy, basically Mad Monk and Monster Man. Just really good here. I give Legend Dark Knight by Matt Wagner a 10 out of 10. Why? Because it's good. That's why. Alright, next up, and I'm not going to do any more comic corners after this. Like, as soon as it finishes, I'm basically like, it's kind of late. I'll probably save the other comic corner for tomorrow. Okay, so, first up we have Superman, The Black Ring. Book 1. Yep, Book 1. This book collects issues 890 to 895. This is a storyline focused on Lex Luthor after the events of Blackest Night of all things. So yeah, basically the Action Comics became aftermath story for that one. Throughout this story, he basically has encounters with various villains, including Vandal Savage, Deathstroke, the Secret Six pop up in here. Yes, Secret Six. Trying to think, there was others. I'll look at basically. So he's trying to research a way to get back the Orange Lantern because he loved that ring. Yep, and of course the reference here to that one. So basically, so searching for it. By the way, there's also a female android here too, who's very beautiful, and also Lex takes her to bed with him. No, seriously, he does that. Yeah, and then we have the first part end with appearance by Mr. Mind, a Captain Marvel villain. Yes. Now, despite having Superman on the cover, he's nowhere in these issues. You have Lex putting some Greek stuff, which is so fun. Mr. Mind, wow. Yeah, first Greek, and then we have Bride of Frankenstein, which is so hilarious. By Mr. Mind, he's only here for 2 issues, and that's it for him. And then we have appearance by Deathstroke. He's the next one. So it's kind of like, yeah, let's have Lex encounter various DC villains. First Mr. Mind, and then Deathstroke. Because of course Deathstroke. And by the way, these issues are written by Paul Cornell, a guy over in Doctor Who comics. Yep. And then in the next issue, he encounters Gorilla Grodd. I am Grodd. Yeah, and there's even a reference to Superman here, which I'll get to. So, we have eating brains, because of course he does. Excuse me. Beats up people, forms alliance with an android, tries to eat her. This is like blah, android. And have this, yeah, this is so funny. Lex Luthor, kneel before Grodd. You have walked into my ambush. I have brought my biggest combat spoon to eat your tasty brains. Oh my gosh. This dialogue is so hilarious. Kneel before Grodd. That's obviously a reference to Terrence Stamp from Superman 2. Which his phrase was, kneel before Zod. Yeah, it's so funny. Lex is like, nah, not really. They're like, oh yeah, I just killed Lex Luthor. Nope, an android. Not really there. You're like, what? Luthor. It's so funny. Yeah, Gorilla Grodd is hilarious in the story. And it looks like, oh, we killed Lex. And then Lady Death shows up. From Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Interesting. By the way, fun fact, in the later half of this story, Lex has sex with her. I am not kidding. He seriously does. I mean, she may look like a teenage girl, but she's hot. Yep. And he's like kind of dead for like an issue. Yep. And then we have like a montage of various battles he had with over the years. And basically tries to find a way to come back to life. And then he has the encounter with, and Vandal Savage shows up. Yes, Vandal Savage shows up in part 6. Because of course Vandal Savage. We deal with him in the past. Yeah, and here's basically Lex for you. Yeah, he took the smoking hot female android to bed with him. Yeah, here he is getting out of bed, and she's butt naked preparing those sheets. Yes. And look, she takes up the sheets off the bed and make it so obvious that these two had sex. Yes, Lex Luthor has sex with a robot. Because of course he can. He's Lex Luthor, he can do whatever the heck he wants. Not the first time he's had sex with a robot. He also did it in his own miniseries that Brian Azzarello drew. And then part 6 ends the appearance by the Secret Six. Scandal Savage, Catman, Ragman, Bane, Deadshot. I don't remember her name, but this is the lineup that appeared for the second and third volume for Secret Six. Mostly like third volume, but yeah, this book is fantastic. I give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Now we're also talking about the backup stories in this one because the backup stories are not in the trade. Yes, because DC did this at this time. It's not the only time we did this. So, first up, we're talking about the backup story for 200 and 892, which is done by Jeff Lemire. It's a story for Superboy. Yes, for Superboy. What is the purpose of this issue? Serve as a backdoor pilot to his revived solo book that for some strange reason the trade paperback did not include this story. Nope, it did not. I do not know why it didn't, but it didn't. Excuse me. So, yeah, basically all leads into Superboy #1, which was released and lasted for 11 issues. And here's a fun fact about the trade Smallville Attacks. When I saw this listed for the damn thing, this was like 11 years ago. Originally, this is going to be more than one volume. This will be 2 volumes. And I heard this one's going to contain the first 5 issues, or at least going to skip the whole thing with Doomsday. So, with issue 93, we start the Jimmy Olsen feature, which starts in this issue and wraps up with issue 898. So, this issue is noteworthy for one thing, and one thing only. The first ever comic appearance of Chloe Sullivan. Yes, this is the debut of the comic version of the character. The only reason why, I think, if I remember correctly, I think Smallville had just ended around the same time she made her debut. Which, by the way, when the Flash reboot happened, she never appeared ever again. And she's here to support Jimmy Olsen while he just investigates stuff. Yep. And it's called Jimmy Olsen's Big Week. And this might surprise you. The story is written by Nick Spencer. Yes, Nick Spencer wrote this thing. Yep. Mostly put, basically, it's like Big Week. It's like takes place a period of like each day. So yeah, in part 2, we have at the end of part 1 basically have where the other planet thing got damaged by a blimp. But these are just really fun stories. The artwork is kind of odd to say the least. It's not by R.B. Silva. Yep. Oh, by the way, Chloe Sullivan's in a good chunk of the story, and she's here to follow on Jimmy on a story. Yep. Come on, seriously. Thank you. Yep. Which one I finished up with issue 895. Yeah, and it's completely unknown of why in the world they decided to do this. So for day 3, just more Jimmy Olsen stuff. Him encountering Supergirl in this issue because of course basically she's here. Chloe Sullivan's back to do stuff with him, and then the story ends basically saying with Lois saying we're gonna find you a girlfriend. Yep, and that's pretty much it. The Lex stuff, I love the Lex story. It's really good. The Superboy story, it's pretty good. Jimmy Olsen was interesting to say at least, but here's the thing about Chloe Sullivan's parents. I think a lot of people have virtually forgotten about this comic debut because it's not brought up at all. Though I do have a theory, maybe the reason why this wasn't published in trade because DC owned the rights to Chloe Sullivan. That's probably what happened, but I'm not really sure. I'll discuss more about this feature in a future comic card. Would probably happen tomorrow because it's getting kind of late right now. Okay, but by the way, I give the Superman Black Ring book 1. I give that one a 9.5 out of 10. It's a damn good book. Okay, so that's it for you. So see you tomorrow for another comic corner. And case closed. Okay, next video. Bye.